trust your own intuition? My next guest has used her intuition to assist in police investigations, even missing children's cases. Simone Wright wrote the book called First Intelligence, using the science and spirit of intuition, and she is here with how you can channel your intuition and even teach your kids to do the same. Simone, thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, Heather. I'm thrilled to be here.
How did you realize you had such a sensitive intuition?
Well, we've all got it, but mine was super heightened as a child, and it grew more and more profound as I got older. But I didn't really understand it, so in my teens and 20s, I shut it off until I couldn't resist it anymore, and it sort of exploded and took over my life and ultimately led me to teaching people how to use it.
You said that you have taught police officers how to use this, and you've actually been used in police investigations and missing children's cases?
Yes, yes. Teaching law enforcement how to use their intuition requires a whole different approach. You can't go into law enforcement waving woo-woo voodoo crystals around. You have to be very practical, pragmatic, and down to earth. And that allowed me to be able to teach everyday people how to access this wisdom that we all have.
Tell me about a police investigation or a missing child's case where your intuition really played a key role.
Well, recently, the most powerful one was a triple homicide up in Canada, where a cop friend of mine invited me in to see what I could see intuitively, and I was able to give them information that ultimately led to 3 arrests and 3 life sentences in a gang hit.
No kidding.
So once they saw that validation, and then I offered the opportunity to teach them, they jumped on me. They jumped on it. So
why is this something that's important not only for us adults not to be essentially shutting off, but also to teach our kids to really embrace this?
Oh, it's crucial, and now more than ever, because of the amount of stimulation we have around us, the amount of information, the amount of data. It shuts us down. It paralyzes our nervous system because there's so much stuff out there. And the kids are even more sensitive to it than the adults are. So being able to access our intuition so that we know what is really in our best interest, despite all the outward clutter, gives us a sense of peace, power, certainty. And for our children, it really helps them decide what their choices are that are going to serve them in the best way.
So let's talk about how to exactly do this for folks out there who are thinking, I don't even know if I have this. Simone says everyone has
Everybody's
this in
got
you.
it.
You've got it in your gut. Let's talk about sort of the 5 tips that you tell parents to use and even to foster your own intuition. Number 1 is just developing this.
Developing it. Decide that you are intuitive. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but we're all born with it. It's in our biology. You don't have to be super special. It's inherent in our DNA. Just decide that you know you've got an inner guidance system, and it's as simple as that, and then allow it to start to lead you.
And then taking time out? What do you mean by that?
An energetic time out, not only for yourself, but for your kids. Moms, 20 minutes a day of meditation before your life starts will give you more energy and more clarity than the extra 20 minutes in bed. Encourage it in your kids, too. Turn off their technology, encourage them to daydream, play, draw, write, perform in plays, or just be still, and they'll start to recognize their own inner voice as well.
So start your day with 20 minutes
Yep.
of quiet time or creative time, not TV time.
No.
Okay, I like that. Be real with your kids.
This is a big one, because as parents we want to protect our children from the realities of the world, but children are feeling beings, they're sensing beings, they're not thinking beings, and so they're feeling what is happening with you emotionally far more than they're hearing you. So if you're saying, I'm happy, but really on the inside you're not, they're going to feel it. It's going to freak them out because there's 2 different things happening, and they're going to start feeling anxious and worried. So if you're upset or worried, tell your kid, Mommy's just a little concerned about something, but I know my inner guidance is going to help me through it.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to explain it, too, especially to a little kid. Honor what your kids are sensitive to. Do you mean that if, let's say, that they are being nervous around a stranger or even somebody that's very familiar to the family, how do we honor this without being rude to a person?
Well, and that's the thing. We're afraid of being rude, but a child is very sensitive, again, to what they're feeling. So if they're nervous around a stranger, even a family member, and you notice them being shy or standoffish, honor that, because they're feeling something, because they're feeling beings that's not quite jiving with how they're feeling in the moment. Allow them to express their feeling and walk them through it.
We talked about what to do at the beginning of the day, the 20 minutes of quiet time or creative time. At the end of the day, coming up with creative solutions.
Oh, encourage your children to be solution finders, not problem solvers. And take the time before bed, because that's when their brain is open and soft. Don't do it in the middle of a tantrum or a hissy fit. It won't work. Encourage them to tell their own stories about who they are, make themselves the hero. And if they've had a situation in the day, how would you solve that, sweetie? How would you make this better for everybody? How could you make this a win-win for all of us?
I like this.
And don't give your opinion. Let them find the solution, and then support them in making it happen.
Perfect. Okay, Simone Wright, author of First Intelligence, Using the Science and Spirit of Intuition. There's the cover of your book. Can we find it on Amazon?
You can, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and my website, SimoneWright.com.
SimoneWright.com. Will you come back? I find this so fascinating. I would
will.
love to learn more about your history and have you use this to solve more cases.
I will.
All right, Simone, thanks.
Thanks, Heather.